Hey, what's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC. Today we're talking 511's 2023 Advent Calendar. Wanted to put this one out a few days before December in case you had forgotten to pick it up or maybe wasn't on your radar at all. Have a couple days to order it before December starts. Now, this one's celebrating 511's 20th anniversary, although they've only been doing the Advent Calendar the last couple years. So behind each door, we have a Velcro backed patch or ranger eye. And if you're into REs or just getting into REs, really great way to accumulate a bunch at a low price per patch. That's because there's 24 doors here corresponding with the first 24 days of December, and behind each one we have an RE. That of course means if you're not so into patches, this probably isn't the Advent Calendar for you. Now I'm uploading this on Cyber Monday and it's on sale for $80, which is less than $3.50 per patch. If you missed that sale, it does jump back up a little bit to $100, although coupon codes do work on the Advent Calendar. And so I don't have one specifically for 511. You can usually find one that's current online just by Googling it. But if you're not able to track one down, I know you can get 10% off by signing up for their newsletter. So definitely don't pay full price for this. Now, I do want to caveat this by saying I said this is about the 2023 Advent Calendar, but in reality, I have no intention of showing any of this year's patches in today's video. I will show all of 2021's, all of 2022's, and so you can get an idea of what you might expect. But the reason for that is, one, I don't want to spoil myself. I plan on opening these the day they're supposed to be opened. But two, I don't want to spoil it for people that may be ordering this and don't want spoilers. So just like last year, I'll record each time I open one, upload it a couple minutes after I open it, so you'll be finding it out basically at the same time I am. That way, if you're following along, you can either wait to watch the video or not watch it at all and don't get spoiled by this specific video. Now, I know some people watch these because they want to see the spoilers. Maybe they're trying to decide if it's worth the price point. And if that's the case, I know iSpy99 has already uploaded the spoiler video on his channel where he shows all 24 patches. So definitely check that out if you're looking for these spoilers. Now, me personally, I have not watched that yet. Obviously, I didn't want the spoilers. And so I did talk to someone who did though, and it sounds like they've made some really exciting changes that have me pretty hyped for this year's Advent Calendar. So a couple of things were things that I griped about in last year's video. First being the shape of the REs. All of the previous ones, the last 48, have all been hexagon shaped, and those are cool. They're interesting, unique. They play together nicely, but at the same time, it does get repetitive. I'd like to see a little bit more variety, different shapes, maybe some hexagon shaped, some circular, squares, whatever else it may be. And it sounds like this year they moved away from that. There's not a uniform shape, maybe a couple repeat, but for the most part, you get different shapes each day. You can even see that in the size of these perforated lines or boxes. And so excited about that, but perhaps more exciting for me in particular is that they moved away from the Christmas theme. So previous years, again, entirely Christmas themed. Maybe there'd be one or two that could pass as non-Christmas patches, but for the most part, you were getting exclusively Christmas patches. And it sounds like they went the complete opposite direction this time around. Maybe a handful of Christmas patches, but a majority are not Christmas related. And so that's exciting because with them all being Christmas themed, they're really only relevant 1 month a year. You don't use them the rest of the year. And so you have them packed away 11 months out of the year. And so excited to be able to use most of these throughout the entire year. Also, I guess exciting for people who don't celebrate Christmas, but maybe you just want to get in on the patches, surprise patch mystery box. And so cool for them because there will be a couple Christmas ones that aren't relevant, but a majority should still be relevant. And so last change is that previously they were all PVC. Sounds like most of them still are, but there was a couple in different materials. Now I didn't clarify with the person whether that meant or what types of materials it is. I'm assuming that means that they are woven because that's the only other patch material I can think of, although I guess they could have been leather or something, but really not a whole lot of different patch materials out there. So I'm assuming that's what it means, but who knows, maybe there's something I'm not thinking about. Now, with that said, let's take a look at 2021. We'll flip over to 2022 just to get an idea of what to expect from these patches. But again, they did move away from the Christmas theme, so maybe a little bit less of these type of designs, but still similar kind of artwork and things like that. Now, This is all of 2021 in order. So up top we have day 1, down at the bottom we have day 24. So one of the things that I didn't like as much about 2021's was that I felt like they started off with the most boring patch. It's just kind of a plain design. It's grown on me a little bit, but it still is. If you look at all of the other patches here, it's probably the plainest design overall. And so I felt like you should start off with a very exciting patch. And then maybe you can dial it back a little bit and get more exciting as you get closer to the holiday. But in any case, I think this is probably the most boring design that we got in 2021, although not horrible overall. One of the things I really liked was the larger patches on the 23rd and 24th, both really good designs. I like the Yeti with the eggnog, I like the milk and cookies MRE, I think really interesting and unique designs. And one of the things that, just kind of looking at them as a whole, I really liked in 2021 was a variety of border colors. And so you'll see in 2022, they really kind of step back on that front. And I like 2021's better in terms of the overall variety. You can see there's some repetition. We have a lot of blacks, greens, and reds, but not too many of one color, and also a couple just random 1s or 2 off colors. And so I like that about 2021. One of my favorite design things that they did in 2021 was what I'm calling tactical Christmas creatures. We got lots of them. I'm not counting Yeti because he's not really tactical here, but we have our snowman, our penguin, tactical Santa. Probably my favorite patch that we've ever gotten from one of these advent calendars, the tactical gingerbread with that Rambo style bandana on his head. Then you have our reindeer, our German shepherd. So lots of just Christmas creatures that are all kind of geared out. And so I like all of those designs quite a bit. Now, also really like the Merry Krampus. I just feel like that one's so different from everything else and just a cool design. Overall though, I think I got more patches that I liked than I didn't, and so that definitely feels like a win for me, especially at the price we're paying for these. There were a couple that I guess I wouldn't say that I outright disliked. They're all fine. There were a couple though that probably I wouldn't buy if they were selling them individually, really at any price point. And so overall, there were more that I would buy than I wouldn't buy, though, if we were paying the price per patch that we were paying. So really strong 2021. Now, flipping over to 2022, I do think they took a little bit of a step back here. I still like 2022, but when I'm comparing them side by side, I think there's more patches that I liked in 2021 more. And so overall, still pretty strong. One thing that I already pointed out is that kind of gravitation towards red patches. Almost all of them, I think 19 of them, are red, with only 5 that are not red outlined. So we have our Joiner Pie, our Commando Santa, our Noel, our Zero Gifts Given with that duck on it, and then our orange outlined pumpkin, scarecrow looking, or jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, which is probably my favorite from 2022, and the only one that's not really Christmas themed. You can see there's some Christmas lights, but they're more like candy corn colored, so it really doesn't scream Christmas at all, but all of the rest are very Christmas themed. Now this one has a little bit less cohesion, I feel like. We have a couple repeating themes with like the snow in the background, with our aliens, and just a couple repeating themes, but not a whole lot of like the tactical Christmas creatures, as I mentioned before. We still have that Christmas tree and the Commando Santa, but not a whole lot else. That being said, I do like a lot of these designs still, and again, like more than I dislike here. Really like the aliens that we have here, and you can see day 1 was a little bit more of an exciting patch than we got in 2021, so like that. Not as big a fan of the larger patch on the 23rd. I think it's okay. It's just a little bit confusing of what you're looking at for a second, that tactical elf dropping in. Really like the 24th though. That actually was our box art, so I think that's a really good design. And overall, like I said, I think more that I like than I don't like, but still not quite as strong as 2021. There is one I do want to single out though that's probably my second favorite from 2022, and that's this Reaper Santa. I really love this design, and for whatever reason, it's my worst performing short of all time. So didn't really get the love it deserved. Not that people that saw it didn't like it, but like I said, worst performing short of all time. Usually my shorts do pretty decently, with the exception being like giveaway announcements, because most people who watch that are really only people that entered the giveaway. But for whatever reason, it goes every short I've ever made, giveaway announcements, and then way below that, this patch. And so wanted to give that one, single that one out a little bit just to show it some love, because I really do like that patch quite a bit. But that's it for 2021 and 2022. We can see them all side by side here. Would love to know your thoughts on both of the previous year's Advent Calendar patches, which ones are your favorite, and if you plan on participating in 2023's Advent Calendar, or if you know of any other Advent Calendars. I know the Boker has one where you build a knife. I don't think I'm going to pick that one up, just because you don't really get an item that you can use each day. You have to wait several days before you have to assemble it. But if you know any other like EDC type Advent calendars, definitely interested in that. Also, if you're not participating in this, if you have any other holiday traditions, Christmas or otherwise, that you do in December or the latter part of the year, I know there's tons and tons of holidays out there, would love to hear what everyone else is doing to celebrate. But do plan on doing a recap of 2023's Advent Calendar on Christmas Day, which I didn't do last year, so we'll talk about what I liked and didn't like about those and show all of them off in one place, especially if you're someone who doesn't watch shorts. I know there is a pretty big portion of my audience that really only watches long form, so if you don't watch shorts, I will recap this at the end of those 24 days. But thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, would love if you would consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that notification button. And as always, hope you have a great one. Take care.